What's going on, everybody? It's Bill Bailey with today's Boondoggle. And quick housekeeping note, if you're watching us on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. Or if you're watching us on Rumble, hit the subscribe button there as well. And hit the follow button on whatever podcast platform you are utilizing to listen to us. That way we can continue to bring you these good interviews like the one I'm getting ready to have right now with the man himself, the scum of the earth, Mr. Riggs. How you doing?
Yes. Good.
Nice. So it's I was kind of really looking forward to this interview today because just recently my ex was calling me scum of the earth, so I figured this could be like a you know AA session or something where we could talk it out.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, usually when I have somebody on for the first time, I like to get a quick background. So originally, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Originally, I always wanted to be in a band.
So music's always been your thing, then, huh?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
remember
when I was
like
a little kid, I found out you could do that for a living. I'm like, oh, that's gonna be my thing.
nice. You remember what was it like? What particular artist or band that kind of like pulled you in?
No, I mean I grew up with my grandparents and my uncle, so they were always listening to older music. So I grew up listening to Frank Zappa, the Bee Gees, Casey and the Sunshine Band, stuff like that. And I don't know, I just liked all that. And then I found out you can do that for your job. So I'm like, count me in.
Nice. And what was it when that you took up an instrument?
I was young. I was like around 8 years old, and there was an old guitar in a closet at my grandparents' house, and I was always tinkering around on that, and just like that. My grandfather had a piano, but I was just more into the guitar.
Nice. And then as time went on, and you started like working at uh, with the guitar and honing your craft, so to speak. Did you have any like bands with your friends, like garage bands and stuff like that?
Kind of. I mean, I grew up in a really small town, about 3,000 people, and there wasn't even another town close by. So, it was like me and one of my friends, we both played guitar, and that was like, the whole band.
Nice. And then how about in high school?
Yeah, same thing. I didn't even go to high school.
And then as what when was it then? Because you said you grew up in a small town and everything. Like when did you like branch out and really start taking the playing serious and hitting the road and everything?
It's probably when I was about 17. I think when I was about 16, I got a job at this boat factory there in that outside that little town, and I just saved up all my money from that. I still lived with my grandparents, and saved all my money for about a year, and then just took off. I ended up in Austin, Texas, back then around 1990, and then I hooked up with I believe it's Danny Lohner,
Yeah.
and they were just like transitioning from that band Anchor Watt into Screw, and then I just hopped on board.
Nice. And then what was that
I,
like originally? What was that music scene like there in Texas?
it was good back then. It was yeah, I was in Austin, and it seemed like it was good for every kind of genre of music. We played lots of local shows. We tour all around the world. Yeah, it was
And
good.
then so your time, how much time did you get to play with Danny, and then how long? I mean, how much did you pick up about the music industry during that time?
I picked up pretty quick. There's just total crap. But I was in Screw. I was there for the first 2 albums, the Burning in Water, Drowning in Flames, and Dusted. And then on one of the tours that we did over in Europe was with Prong and Corrosion Conformity. and Tommy Victor from Prong, he's commenting about the band. We had 3 guitar players in Screw. And he's like, man, it sounds so heavy, 3 guitar players. And I kind of bugged him on and off for about a year until he let me be in Prong. And so I got in Prong right around the Rude Awakening album. And I was in Prong for a couple years or something, just doing live guitar.
Nice. And then during your time in Prong, you got to hit the road a little bit more and do some more touring with them?
Yeah, we did a lot of touring for that album cycle. Like, went all around the world. And then Prong was managed by the same management company that managed White Zombie and Pantera. So that's how I met all those guys and ended up in Rob's band. And then Danny Lohner, he went on to 9 Inch Nails. And whenever Rob was working on what would have been the Hellbilly Deluxe, it was Danny and Charlie Klauser, I believe, was telling Rob about me. So I flew out and did that. And all just kind of merges together.
Yeah. So it's a good, game about networking and stuff like that. And obviously having the talent to back it all up, though.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty driven. I took off, didn't have anywhere to live, and starved to death for years. And then it all worked out.
And then so you were with Rob for quite a few albums then.
Yeah, like the first 2 studio albums, the Hellbilly Deluxe and Sinister Urge, and then there was like some scrambled ones in there, like the remix album, past American Made Music to Strip By, Past, Present, Future. I don't know. They kept putting out a lot of albums of remixes and a couple new things here and there while he was working on movies.
So you got pretty busy with him for a couple of years, and then I think, as you just mentioned, then he started doing movies. And is that when you decided to branch out on your own and do Scum of the Earth?
Yeah, I started doing Scum of the Earth. It was like 2004, and and then by then I was already, I think I was like in my 30s, like 32 or something. Right at that age where like all the bad stuff starts happening, where people start dying, and relatives, and then I have a son. It's just me and him, so it just ended up being me and him. And then I just kind of stayed at home and started businesses around the town I live in, and so he could finish school, go to college, all that stuff.
But obviously continuing music in the background and stuff, and creating music.
Yeah, up to about 2012, I was still doing some stuff, but then it just got too much with regular life stuff.
I feel you. I was a single dad of 2 girls for a number of years. My youngest just graduated, so that's why I was made that reference at the beginning, because my ex, we just had a graduation party for her, and I was still being treated like I'm the scum of the earth,
Oh, yeah, me and my son, it's just me and him. There's, we're all we got. There is nobody else. And, he's still in college. He's 27. He's getting getting the master's degree and then going to medical school, and then once he's about done, and where he's going to go off to medical school. So that's when I'll start getting really busy again.
Yeah. And then, well, I mean, that's quite an accomplishment in itself. I'm sure with all the albums that you've contributed to and all the, the musical accolades you have. I mean, having, being a single dad and raising a son that's going to medical school, man, that's probably you probably feel like probably one of your greatest hits right there, huh?
Oh yeah, for sure. By far. It's rough, as you know.
Yeah.
It's got its moments.
Yeah. No, man, I totally understand, but hey, that's very commendable, man. So much respect.
And it's pretty crazy because he'd come out on tour with me when I was in Prong, and he was 1 year old. I got a bunch of pictures of him. Looks like he's driving the tour bus.
Nice.
All the way up. Then Zombie is only like 3 years old, 4, and now he's getting close to 30. It's pretty insane.
Yeah, man, that's awesome though. What stories he has, and and like I said, it says a lot about your commitment to help him get to the level he's at, man. So I definitely, us, it seems like in today's culture, us fathers don't get as much recognition anymore. We kind of look down on like Homer Simpson's or something like that.
Yeah, right.
But
I mean, even way back then.
Yeah. I think Al Bundy was around back then, right?
Yeah, right.
But oh man, good on you, man. Good to hear. So then you're honing your craft and working hard behind the scenes, building your brand and stuff. Like Scum of the Earth started, and like what was the inspiration for you to pick that as a band name?
I don't know. I just always use that name for stuff since I was a kid, and people used to call me that when I was a little kid. All the, I grew up in that small town where everybody's pretty poor. It's just I was pretty poor, and poor. Like the I don't know, grunge-looking, dirty kid. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was they didn't like about me, but it was something. And so then I just kind of used that, going on. Even back, when I had the signature series guitars through Fernandez, I had him put the scumbag on the 12th fret. It's kind of like a middle finger to all them. I don't know.
Well, it was like something obviously that was used as a negative connotation towards you, but you turned it around and, put it back on, use it as fuel to drive you to put it back to the world,
Yeah, pretty much. That's what it was. And then it just kind of turned into, a thing. Just use it all the time. And then, it's like my publishing company is called that. And all my guitar picks had it. Even you look back on on the Hellbilly Deluxe videos, you see me, I got the guitar that's got that carved in it. Way back then, it's kind of always been around. I just thought it'd be a cool name for a band.
Nice. And so, you've been doing work under this project name for a while now. Really big into, I guess, B movies and horror movies and dark sense of humor. Where would you say you picked up a lot of first, where would you say you picked up some of the dark humor?
I don't know. I was pretty unsupervised when I was growing up, so I don't know. I have no idea. Just
Gotcha. Yeah, I did some time in the military, and it's kind of like we're especially during deployments and stuff. It's like we just need something to forget about all the suck around us. So we find like some of the darkest things to laugh about, to help get
That's
by.
that's probably what. Yeah, that's probably the same thing.
And then what was your like attraction to like a lot of the like B movies or sci-fi and horror genre?
I mean, it just started from TV. So, seeing old reruns of the Munsters, the Addams Family, Star Trek, stuff like that. That was always my favorite stuff. And then I was kind of always looking for it, back when they had the local video stores and stuff. Go in there and just pick out movies with, weird titles and weird covers, and just, that's how I found out, about the Evil Dead, just sitting there. Gotta rent that one.
Yeah, for sure. Well, like you just mentioned Evil Dead, but like what would you say is like one of your all-time favorite movies in that like vein that you can always go back to and enjoy watching over again?
I mean, definitely Evil Dead, stuff like Motel Hell. It kind of goes by time periods, like back then it was really like Evil Dead, Motel Hell. And then in more recent times, it's like Insidious and The Conjuring, that first Sinister, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then, you got the Killer Clowns from Outer Space. The older ones, it seems like more the campy, really cool horror movies like Killer Clowns from Outer Space. But then you got Insidious, and, then they're full on, hardcore horror movies.
Yeah, I like I mean, Evil Dead was definitely one of mine as well. And then I like going back and Killer Clowns was just like, you know, um, up there as
Yeah.
well. But I like going back and like looking at like some of the old like Hammer films and like Fulci, like the Italian like horror and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
So there are always some good ones. And then so now current project, I mean, we're with Scum of the Earth. You guys just released your latest single, the Ziggurats of Mesopotamia. What's the meaning behind that title?
It's just, I started way back, in before I was in Screw, I was writing songs about the ancient alien stuff, and people didn't seem to dig it that much or get it, And then nowadays, that seems to be like a popular subject where people are always talking about it. And so I actually had a bunch of lyrics left over from like, 30 years ago, and they're they're all, like real things, real places. The ziggurats are, those big structures that they made back in the day. And then, it's got a lot of tie-ins with aliens and, weird unexplained stuff. So, I wrote a whole batch of songs about all that. The song before this kind of fell through the cracks. We put it out during the pandemic when we were just sitting around doing nothing. It was called Bigfoot and the Armies of Pumapunku. And yeah, I just got a whole batch of songs about all this, ancient alien stuff.
Nice. I was checking out the video. Kind of like I saw some of the like War of the Worlds vibe to it as well with the
Yeah.
animation, and I like the animation. Who did the animation for you for that video?
Somebody down in South America that I was in contact with on social media, and I can't even pronounce his first name. I just call him Wolfgang. Wolfgang's in there somewhere, and he he, he wanted to do a video, and so I sent him the lyrics to that Ziggurats, and he just came up with all that from the lyrics, and just like, just finished it. I didn't really have any input in it at all. I just thought it was good how he had it, and he kind of made up a storyline in there, with the aliens that live on the face of Mars and come down and start wiping out Earth.
Yeah, no, it was really well done. I liked it. And like, it's funny too, because like bringing back the ancient alien theme, it's like just, I mean, the aliens are here. Pentagon finally declassifies, the existence of UFOs, and I think that they were doing the declass during the pandemic when most everybody was locked down, but yet we're still distracted. It was just like no big deal. Everybody kind of shrugged their shoulders, it seemed like, and then moved on because everybody's distracted by politics.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I think it was 2020 whenever it was all over the mainstream media, even, where they said they've recovered 2 otherworldly vehicles not made on this planet or something like that. And it's like, 5 people in the whole world cared about it.
Yeah.
There was never anything else released about it.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, they had that
2 of them where.
No, go ahead. What were you saying?
I say they said they recovered 2 of them, and then that was it. They never said like how big they were, if they had any ideas where they came from, if there was anybody in them, And that was like 2 years ago, and they haven't said another thing. But it was all over, Fox, CNN, all the main crappy news places.
Yeah, all the propaganda pieces were finally admitting, something that they'd been covering up for years.
Whenever they mention it on the state-run media, it seems like it's pretty legit.
Yeah.
So it seems like all the politicians have the say-so in the news, I guess.
Yeah,
that's all I hear about.
Yeah, I mean so many people out there that were like pushing for like declass and the truth to come out, and then I mean I think there's even that group that was going to rush like Area 51, around that time, and yeah, when finally they admitted, everybody just like shrugged their shoulders and like, all right, what's next? What's what's next in politics? What did Trump do now? What's going on in DC?
I know.
It's like,
I don't know. The whole world
man.
just turned into politics, and everything got all shitty all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's like
before that, nobody even cared. It's like, now everybody wants to be in politics. Everybody is so concerned about being politically correct. And it's like, why? What are you running for fucking office? Who cares? Like, what, you get a letter from Nancy Pelosi every year for being a good, citizen? Thanks for obeying. Here's your, good citizen card.
Yeah.
It's in the name, politically correct. Like, who gives a fuck?
Oh man, exactly.
I mean, they're the ones who absolutely don't care. The politicians, they just lie right to your face and shake your hand and stab you in the back when you turn around, and then act like
they clear out your savings account and 401ks and all that while they're doing it.
Yeah. So I'm obviously not down with the PC culture, because I'm not in politics. I can say whatever the fuck I want. And that's somebody great. Doesn't like it, then they don't have to be around me.
Well, that's great, because like I've noticed too, like, I mean, I've been doing this podcast a while. I've been involved in, music for a number of years, and just like, I remember when it was like, it was edgy, and it was part all, it's how we acted out in rebellion, and we spoke out against the man. And it seemed like, the past couple of years, everybody just started conforming and, praising the man, and
That's
he's
pretty
like, well, I
crazy.
want people to buy my records, so I better fall in line, and I like to find more musicians like you that are still throwing that middle finger up in the air,
Yeah. I mean, it's like Rage Against the Machine turned into Rage with the Machine, shit like that. And I don't know. I don't know why everybody's so concerned about politically correct. You just need to have manners. That's all.
Exactly. Just treat people how you want to be treated, respect one another, but also speak the truth, man, about what's really going on. Don't friggin', you know, toe the company line, man. It seems so hypocritical. It's like,
Yep. Everybody with the pronouns and the racism and the this and the that. It's like, we get it. We all suck. Noted. Move on to the next thing, but they can't. It's like we're all. It reminds me of a political cartoon I saw where it's like a white guy holding the rebel flag and a black guy holding the Black Lives Matter flag, and they're inside a fishbowl. And there's this big, giant politician standing outside of it with the top hat, looks like the Monopoly guy holding giant bags of money. It's like they just plot everybody against each other, and then they steal all of our money.
exactly. Yeah. They keep us distracted or fighting over race, gender, you know, like you said,
They
political.
don't want, yeah, I mean, they don't want the 99% to like wise up and be like, hey, fuck you guys.
Because then they won't have any power anymore. The game's over.
They'll lose all their power as soon as everybody gets along. And they're like, hey, why are we paying so much money for all this junk? These people don't do anything for us except causes, terror 24 hours a day. Fuck them.
Yeah, exactly.
But
And
instead, everybody's fighting over, bathrooms and dumb shit that doesn't even matter.
yeah, you're preaching to the choir, brother. I love it. But
Well,
it's
it's like I
like,
saw the news story of the punk rock band. There's a punk rock band who they canceled their gig and left because the promoter wouldn't let the dude use the girl's bathroom. I'm like, wow, that's real fucking punk rock, man. That's just like the world now. This is horrible.
and that's why we're so easily distracted and not paying attention to UFOs being declassified finally after all these years.
Yeah.
We're the aliens.
Yeah.
The aliens are here already. I think they can't figure out what gender they are.
Yep.
It's like I'm here in Ohio. I live up in the Cleveland area, but I mean Dayton isn't too far, and that's where Wright-Patterson Air Force Base is, and that's where all those years ago they supposedly found a UFO. So it's like I'm ready to go down there and check it out, man.
Yeah, right. I want to see these two that they got. I mean, they already admit that they have it. Let's see them. Just a photo, even something.
Yeah, exactly. You think, they're probably like, okay, what's working to keep everybody distracted? Oh, most of them are over the alien thing. I guess we're going to just move on and keep them fighting about,
I mean, it's the same shit from when I was a kid. I remember this back when I was a teenager, and you hear all this shit in the news, but then whenever you tour around the world and meet all the people that live in the world, nobody cares about that. I never run into anybody that cares. The only people that care are people that get paid, like the political activists and all this. The regular people that have 9-to-5 jobs, they don't give a fuck about any of that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody gets along just fine especially if they turn off the news. Everybody get along just great.
Yeah, turn off the news, put your cell phone down, get outside, and interact with your neighbor again.
Yeah, I mean, because I live here in Branson, it's a tourist town, and there's people from all over the country, all over the world come here, and there's never any problems, never any fighting, arguing, nothing. Just people come here, have a good time, and go home and turn on the news and freak the fuck out.
Yeah, exactly. And like, so many, and it, like, like I said, I served in the military, so I've been across the world and seen a lot of different cultures. And it's like most of the people that are making all the biggest stinks are stuck in their fishbowl. They've either live in some major metropolitan city and they've never been outside, and they think everybody needs to conform to their values. It's like, like New York and California, like the biggest, trying to control what the rest of the country does.
Yeah, they want the whole everywhere to be like them. To be like us where I live. Like, oh, we think New York and LA need more tractors and cows. Like who fucking cares what they're doing there? Like everybody just needs to worry about their own shit and fuck off.
Exactly. So, so basically, yeah, and like you said, everybody's kind of got us labeled because we think outside the box, or we're vocal about how we feel because we're not politically correct. So, which would lead us to being, I guess, labeled scum of the earth. So that's my segue back to
there you go.
back to your project. But
that's how it works.
Yeah. What can I mean, so you got the new single just came out. You're working on a new album, I take it too then?
I don't know. I mean, I have enough songs for an album, but it seems like these days they just want to do a song at a time. Everybody just uses Spotify and whatever, just streaming. And I don't know, I guess there's just no need for a full album. I don't know, maybe an independent band is different, but I mean, if you put out a whole album, I don't know where anybody would ever buy it at. You just have to buy a digital copy of it, and nobody does that anyway. So you might as well just do a song here and there and let it go on Spotify and make a video. So
yeah, that's
I don't care either way.
Yeah, that's kind of a shame too, because it's like I remember growing up, like you said, we liked some of the shows that kept us entertained, but I also like there'd be albums that would tell a story, and you could just put the album on and sit there for the duration of the album and go on an adventure, and it's like now all these kids with these short attention spans, they don't have time for any of that anymore.
Yeah, I'd sit there and read. I really like that, all the artwork and inserts and stuff, and reading the lyrics, and I'd find other bands by looking at like Metallica, Ride the Lightning, or something like that. I can't remember which one it was, but in the album, they in their thank list, they thanked all these bands they toured with over in Europe and other countries, and I'd find out about a lot of bands that way. Like, oh, if Metallica's on tour with them, they must be good. I didn't know. And
yeah, I remember that too.
Slayer and all that. And I found all kinds of cool bands that way. And just looking at the, cool photos, artwork, lyrics, I don't know. You like getting something for your money.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's how I was. I was like always been like kind of like, I was a comic book collector as a kid and stuff, and an album collector for the artwork, for the the lyrics, always a big lyrics person, and just and like you said, the thank yous, learning about other bands and stuff like that through that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like those days are behind us now. And it's just the day of the streaming on the streaming the single or whatever. But
and the thing that aggravates me about it is that, like, it's not even the choice of the people. Like, the market didn't decide that. You go out and buy a new computer, you buy a new car, they don't even come with CD players or CD-ROMs in them anymore. So they just forced everybody to the digital. And that's the most annoying part, because there's tons of people that still want the artwork and have something they can hold in their hand.
Yeah, I know so many people that still, are big and collecting vinyl and stuff too. And it's hard to even get, those press anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like the Apple stores and iTunes and Spotify's and all that kind of took charge and pushed everything towards that now.
I mean, I don't even own a laptop or a desktop that has a CD drive in it anymore. But it's funny because Apple sells a separate CD-ROM you can plug into the thing. But I
Yeah.
don't know.
It's another money
You know,
maker, though. You know.
yeah. Now the cars, even the one I'm in right now, it's got the wireless Apple Play or the
Oh yeah.
Apple CarPlay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they don't want you having the disc; they want you buying it from them.
Exactly. And then is there you guys talking about hitting the road again sometime soon?
Yeah, they're talking about toward the end of October, and I'm down for any time if we can make a buck. As long as we don't go broke trying to do it.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
I know. Gas prices are freaking killing tours right now too.
and then with all the crazy stuff going on in the world, the end of October is right before the midterm, so who knows what crazy new horrible thing is going to be happening then.
Oh yeah. We already got monkeypox now. It's like seems like the sequel to COVID is already being released.
I mean, it's like every month during the shutdown, they had some new thing, whether it's the murder hornets or the. I mean, it's always some like horrible sounding thing.
Yeah, something to keep grandma afraid. I know my mom was terrified and getting ill, and I was like, Mom, turn off the freaking news. Get outside, take a walk.
I know. I remember when it first happened. I went to Pfizer's website and read about the vaccine, and it said on their website that it only lasts up to 6 months. I'm like, what the fuck is this? It's like a flu shot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. And then, and plus where I live, they didn't really have a shutdown. Nothing really stopped here. And it's a tourist town, so everybody kept pouring in, it's full of people from all over the world. And yeah, I don't know. I never got sick.
Yeah, I mean, I got sick, but you know, it, my immune system did what my immune system's supposed to do, and it fought it. And I was miserable for a few days. I took the vitamins and everything I was supposed to take, and you know, it's like they shot me up with enough crap when I was in the military, and I was like, all right, ever since I've been retired, I've been like detoxing, my body.
Yeah.
I ain't ready to roll up my sleeve and line up, for anything else. But um and then so right now you got your latest single, Ziggurats of Mesopotamia. You got another one in the like in the batting box getting ready to come out?
Yeah, I have a lot, and then I also have a lot of, you know, what used to be called B-sides that I'm not sure what to do with, since there's no B-sides anymore, and some pretty cool B-side stuff. So I don't know, maybe they can like roll them all into like an EP or something. B-sides, couple new songs. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be nice. And then like maybe hit the road in support of that or whatever. But hopefully
Yeah,
get you out here by the Cleveland area or something.
yeah, that'd be great.
And then try and plot your tours around where the when I went on vacation, I did like a thing. It's like Atlas Obscura or something like that, and it's all like the weird places of every state. You can find like obscure, weird things like oh well, this is where supposedly a UFO crashed or whatever, stuff like that. You can plan your
Oh,
tour
cool.
around that, so that way during your off time you can check out.
Yeah. We always try to stop at the weird places. I have to check that out. What is it called? Obscura?
Atlas Obscura, it's called.
Atlas Obscura. Yeah, I'll check that out for sure.
Yeah, man. And then well, I wanted to try and ask you some of the questions that we normally ask guests that I have on.
Yeah.
We already talked about some of your early influences in music, but who are your like top 3 artists today?
Man, I don't even know. I just like recent times I've been listening to old music like a lot of ZZ Top, and and they got a new record coming out soon. I was interested in, without Dusty being there, and yeah, just mainly just old stuff I've been listening to. The new Slipknot song, I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
I kind of like a lot of everything. I'm not that super picky about music. If I hear it and I like it, I just like it. Sometimes, it's stuff that everybody thinks is dumb, and sometimes it's not. But
Yeah.
Nerd. If you know that band Nerd with Pharrell Williams.
Yeah.
NERD. I remember that first came out. I really loved that first album, and
But Lap Dance or whatever, I love that tune.
yeah, man, that's some good stuff on it. And then every album they put out, there's some songs on there that are always awesome. And yeah, so this is a smorgasbord from Slipknot to Nerd to ZZ Top. Whoever's got some rocking stuff, I usually like it.
Nice. And then what class do you feel should be mandatory before graduating high school today?
Civics. I never thought about it, but that's the first thing that popped into my head. Yeah. It seems like everybody gets how the government's supposed to work from the news instead of how it's actually supposed to work.
Yeah, it's kind of like coincidental that a lot of that stuff would started disappearing in the school systems, and then things started becoming the way they are in the country. It's like,
yeah, I mean, where I grew up there in Arkansas, there was a class called Arkansas Outdoor. I think it was in the 8th, 9th grade, somewhere around there. And they take you right out back, back when they had smoking areas at school. They take you out back in the smoking area and let you shoot a rifle and a shotgun. And then everybody in the class had to shoot it and then tell you that, teach you about gun safety and teach you about how to make fires and like kind of survival stuff.
yeah, that's like crazy talk today, huh?
Yeah. And then they had like, shop where they teach you how to woodwork and weld, and I don't know what is going on in schools nowadays, but it doesn't seem to make anything any better, whatever is going on.
Yeah, I mean, I took shop class. I wasn't that good at it, but still, it's like learn some sort of skill, because especially the way things seem like they're headed now, everybody's, they're stuck on their phone, and it's like you lose power. What do you got? You know how to survive. You know how to start a fire. You know how to.
Yeah, it'd be toast.
Yeah. And then, who are 3 people who've inspired you or you can credit for making you the person you are today?
I probably my grandparents, I'd say. I mean, that's who I grew up with.
Nice.
My grandparents and just the world since I was, pretty unsupervised, I guess. Society made me how I am today.
The scum of the earth, right?
Yeah.
And then are there any like causes or organizations that you support and encourage others to check out?
No, zero.
And then how about favorite toy as a child?
Probably, I mean, just the first thing that pops to mind would be the Evel Knievel toys.
Nice.
The wind up Evel Knievel motorcycle jump thing.
That is the most.
I'd probably buy one right now if they were back out for sale again. Now I think about
it. That is the most popular answer to that question on this show. Everybody like,
oh no way,
had that. Yeah. Like, I've heard that one the most out of all, and I've been doing this, almost 200 episodes now, and that's like the one everybody goes back to, man. They remember that Evil Knievel wind up. You just pull the string and let them launch. And
yeah, that was one where you could pull the little red plastic doodad out of the back, and then the other one you could crank the handle, and then push the button and he'd take off.
oh yeah. I remember that one too. Yeah, sure. And then any message that you have for our military members that are currently serving overseas?
Yeah, hang in there. About all you can do, I think.
Yeah. And like we talked a little bit about, like, the projects you're working on and everything that you've been through, as a single dad and everything. You've had, definitely quite the resume in the music world and everything. If any listeners of this show or any fans want to check out and learn more about you and your projects and what you have going on, where would you send them?
Just the Facebook, the Scum of the Earth Facebook page. I'll try to keep it more updated. I just get busy with real life.
I got you, man.
I'm not on the social media that often.
Yeah, I mean, like, like we said earlier, it can be more of a distraction from what we really need the real stuff we need to get done. So I'm with you on that. But well, we've been going at it for almost an hour here, man. I appreciate you taking the time and talking with me and catching up.
It's good, man. I've been sitting in the truck the whole time with the AC cranked. It's pretty nice. It's so hot here. This is like smooth sailing for me.
Okay, nice. So before I let you go, you mind doing one last favor for me?
Yeah, sure.
Cut a promo ID for the show. Just introduce yourself, and you're listening to today's Boondoggle.
Yeah. Hey, this is Riggs from Scum of the Earth, and you're listening to today's Boondoggle.
Awesome, Riggs. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right, you take care.
All right, you too. Bye.